Hey y'all, hope you're doing good out there. Alright, so in today's video we're going to be talking about the Radian, Afterburner, and Ramjet in a Glock 47. Alright, so there's a lot of reviews out there when it comes to it being in a Glock 19, Glock 45 of course, but there is not as many videos about it being in the Glock 47 or 17. So what is this thing supposed to do? If you have not seen it a million times on the internet already, it is supposed to help reduce that rise and muzzle flip and recoil for by about 40%. So with that being said, yeah, I think it does it probably somewhere around there. I'm not measuring it with a gauge, but it felt really nice. All right, and what it does is mechanically it's not more accurate than I think your Gen 5 OEM barrel is, but what it does do, it makes you more accurate in successive shots. All right, so when you're shooting round after round in a solid string or even doubles or something like that, you're not fighting so much with the gun to get it, back down. And sometimes when you're fighting with the recoil and pushing it down, sometimes you can, overdrive it down a little bit further to where, your successive shot is a little bit south of where your first one was. So anyways, this does help out with that. Let's get on to any type of concerns or cons or anything with it right away. So other than the price, is about $380 at the stores. All right, and this is before taxes and shipping. And so I got mine for my birthday by my boys, so thank you to them for that. And I'm so glad they did. Actually, I really do like this thing, but is it going to be worth it to you? Well, let's talk about certain things that we need to take into consideration. These are not necessarily cons, but these are things to think about. So as far as a duty gun, if you're LE or security or something, depending on what type of organization you work for, they may or may not allow them. So there's that. And then also what type of holster can you use at work, all right? Because when you put on this, it brings it out to about a Glock 34 slide length, which I do like the looks of it and everything, but it may limit you in certain duty holsters, all right? So like the Alien Gear duty holsters, like their level 2 and 3s, it does not accommodate a like a 34 link slide without some type of Dremel or modification to it that your department may or may not like. All right, so just keep that in mind. The only other thing is it is a little bit more of a concussive force, as all the gas are like kind of being redirected up there instead of just blasted out forward. Now, in my experience in shooting it, wearing the electronic ear probe, that was not an issue. However, there was some other YouTube channel, I forgot what these guys' names were. They decided to test it out without ear probe by shooting their Glock with an OEM barrel and then shooting like 1 or 2 shots with this. And they reported it's definitely more concussive and a sharper noise. So there's that. I will let them have that game. But with that being said, do I think that it's still worth it to have a smoother shooting gun that you can shoot faster and have more of your rounds on target in a shorter amount of time versus your hearing? I think in a real life situation, absolutely yes. All right. Other than that, hey, just train with hearing protection like you should. As far as mechanical accuracy, it has about the same mechanical accuracy as your Gen 5 OEM marksmanship barrel, marksman barrel, and so that is excellent, which can group about, I would say, 2 inches at 25 yards pretty reliably. And so anyways, with that, it was too easy. There was a point of impact, point of aim shift going from the OEM barrel to this, but only by about 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So, I just dialed the red dot to that, and there you go, took care of it. I shot about 100 rounds of 115 grain Blazer brass through this the other day, and also about 50 rounds of the Remington 124 grain UMC. With the 124 grain, it shot like lighter 115 target ammo, and then with 115 grain ammo, it shot like, I don't know, like if you're shooting like a 380 out of a full-size handgun. So that's excellent. It definitely dampened that recoil, and it made it a lot more controllable and a lot funner to shoot for me. It does not, limit it down to like, oh, you feel like you're shooting a 22, but it does, take that edge off just enough to where you're getting on target faster, you're wanting to shoot faster, and that's exactly what it's for. All right, so is it going to be worth that about $400 something? In my opinion, yes, because it does it well. And also, I was using the stock recoil spring and guide rod. All right, I didn't have to change it out, no malfunctions, so good to go so far. And the way to attach it is through that little Torx nut right there, or it's a tapered Torx nut, and you just tighten it down to 15-inch pounds. They report no need for Loctite for it, and I didn't see it loosen or anything else. So yeah, pretty happy with that so far. And it is just aesthetically very beautiful. Radian does an excellent job with their machining, and you do pay out the nose for their products, but their coatings are really good. Their machining quality is really good. So yeah, I am very pleased with this product so far, and I really do like the look of it, because it does look like a 34, but behaves even better. And we'll talk about that real quick, because I did own a Glock Gen 5 34 MOS. This setup, even though it's the same length, this setup recoils and reacts a lot nicer than the 34. The 34, even though it is a smooth shooting gun, it's just a little bit slower of a impulse for the slide, but you still do have some vertical up and down movement, and more than what you would with this comp on here. And so with the 47 and this comp, this thing comes into action quicker, and it just seems to have less recoil and less forward tilt up. So yeah, if you're gonna ask me, hey, would you rather have 47 with this Afterburner on it, or a 34? This all the way. So yeah, it is a bit pricey, but I think it's definitely worth it, especially if you already have good fundamentals on the gun. You have a good grip to try to control that that recoil as much as possible, to where your gun's just not wobbling around all over, and you have it already set up with the essentials. Like I said, I always think flashlights are essential, and red dots, I wouldn't say essential, but really freaking nice for accuracy. This is definitely the next thing to get on there, if you felt like you kind of plateaued where you're at. So yeah, it's so far absolutely reliable, and I've heard from other channels that have even a lot more rounds through theirs than me. I haven't had any type of issues with it, so I'm like, okay, well, if these things were really messed up, I think we would have heard about it by now. And my pretty much initial impressions with this, yeah, I absolutely love it so far. So yeah, if you're curious about it, I hope you got some data points from me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any other experience with it, put them in the comments below as well. And like I said, for any type of questions or anything, sometimes I may get back with you in the same day or within a week. Most of the time I try to check all the comments and everything, at least once or twice a week, just depend on what's going on in, my regular work life. But anyways, hope you guys liked it. Hope we gave you some good information, and love yourselves, love one another, and most of all, love God, because God loves you. All right, later.